welcome to yet another episode of Dynamic CIO. Today we are talking about the retail sector. The retail sector has been undergoing rapid digitization in the past couple of years. As organizations are looking at customer experience at a different level, what has emerged is the use of new age technologies such as artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, augmented reality, virtual reality, cloud, and big data. And the ongoing pandemic has further accelerated digitization in this sector. As such, the e commerce market is expanding at an exponential rate. That said, the deployment of these technologies comes with its own set of challenges. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking to Mr. Vasanth Kamatgi, CTO of Ferns and Petals, on how transformation is taking place in the retail sector. A few words about him. He is a passionate technology leader, having continuously engaged in building startups, building technology solutions since 1998, with experience in product development, services engagement, global delivery model in domains like e-commerce, e-learning, biometrics, and energy sector. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much, Smruti.
Hope you all safe at your end.
Yes, all's well. I think things are coming back to better shape now, but all's well.
Yeah, great. Okay, so without wasting much of your time, let me just jump on to the first question. Now, since I was just talking, we were just talking about the pandemic. The pandemic struck all of us. March 2020 was when the lockdown was first declared. However, digitization was the key to business resilience during this period. And as I said earlier, the pandemic has just accelerated the digital transformation. How do you see this shift, and what were the important lessons that were learned by your industry?
Right. Um, I think, yes, as you rightly said, this pandemic has really struck all of a sudden, and it made a lot of changes to all the different industries that were operating. And for us specifically, I think the biggest thing for us has been being ready to something as disruptive as this. And the first few months, the last year, and during the wave 2 this year as well, things have been pretty bad. And I think the major important part was being prepared for something like this. So the first time around when this happened, we were caught unawares. And from a financial part of view, how can we handle something like this, where we had to write off the entire business for a few days of the quarter? And the next time around, we were better prepared. And I think financial planning has been the biggest aspect of how we were able to handle the pandemic last year and this year as well. That being said, overall, how the business was run, that has seen a lot of change as well. If you look at business as such, I think the change has happened in all the three facets. The facet number one is the customer angle, where how we interact with customer, how customer interacts with us, that has undergone quite a bit of change. And the second one is on the aspect of how we were able to, the back-end operations, how we were interacting and how the systems in the back-end work. And the third angle is our employee interactions, of how as an organization we grew all this while. So in the first aspect, I think the focus was on digital marketing. I think the rest of the marketings were way behind, and digital marketing was the way to go. Fortunately, we as Ferns and Petals had a lot of focused work done in digital marketing. Digital marketing is one of our primary marketing mechanisms, and we were able to make some good progress. We continue to progress on that front. And in terms of customer support, I think we were able to provide a lot of, primarily the physical delivery going out of window. We have to be a lot more innovative in terms of how do we still support gifting, and how do we ensure that our customer needs are satisfied. That's where the innovations like digital gifting, the innovation like guitarist on a call, innovations like messages from celebrities, which were still able to support the customer needs of giving a gift to a loved one. So all those things happened. So the innovation was the big part which we were able to achieve during this period. And besides that, I think from the backend perspective, that is the partner and the backend angle, I think a lot of innovation in terms of how our partners and our systems are integrated, how we are able to previously a lot of conversations were happening in a non-digital format, whether it is emails or phones. Now we have brought it online by ensuring that all the partners, all the fulfillment centers, and the the headquarters, the operation center, the knock of FNP are always inline, in connect, and a lot of those systems uh, uh, are able to operate without actual physical connectivity. And then on the employee side, I think this is something that was faced by all the organization across, not necessarily retail or e-commerce. The fact that people have to work from home, how do we enable that? And fortunately for us, we were on the cloud journey long before the pandemic hit us. We started our cloud journey way back in 2018, and all our systems in terms of the CET, that is the Center of Excellence in Technology team, was entirely on the cloud. And I think within the first week of the pandemic hitting us, we were able to migrate to entirely work from home. And we were able to set up the systems which allowed people to work remotely and still collaborate effectively. So these were some of the things that we were able to react to pandemic. And these were some of the things that in general, I think, have affected the industry in general as well.
What I understand is, your marketing obviously strategy was to go digital largely, and but your business strategy was innovation, is what I understood from, if I have to sum it up in short.
Right.
Uh, Retail markets are, very competitive sales market, and technology is a differentiator and game changer. And we
Right.
all know that now retail companies, and after the pandemic has struck, everybody has to rely on cutting edge technology to, stay in the game or stay ahead in the game.
Right.
And retail is all about consumer centric market. Okay,
Right. Right.
so how does technology function contribute to increasing the business growth?
Right. I think one of the primary things is how are you able to optimize the primarily growth is driven by how effectively are you able to do your marketing, how effectively are we able to retain the customers. And this is where I think the big aspect of technology comes in, where in terms of digital marketing, how are we able to let the marketing teams do the micro segmentation, and what kind of need analysis can be done to ensure that more relevant products are given to more relevant customers, and that too in real time and in the time of need. Those are some of the things that I think we were able to successfully set up. And it is during this time we were able to make our customer data platform live, which takes inputs from a whole lot of data points and arrives at segmentations that marketing teams would like to understand all the different aspects of, whether from a demographic point of view or from, so there are different segmentation that they were able to do. And again, from a retention services, what are the different aspects that are making the customer discover the product quickly and deliver. Those are some of the, so primarily it's a CDP platform which helps us, which helped us, the technology gave the edge to FNP to do its marketing and growth effectively. Additionally, I think some of the things, while customer part we are able to provide some support, we also need to ensure that the physical deliveries are also very prompt. I mean, primarily, even though there is demand, unless we are able to fulfill that demand via our actual fulfillment, we won't be able to succeed as an organization. That's where innovation was done on the delivery front as well, where a lot of the APIs that use to all the hyperlocal deliveries, all those activities have happened, and we were able to successfully provide the fulfillment also to the business.
I am a very loyal FNP customer, so I would absolutely agree to that.
Thank you.
Okay. Along with the other digital technologies, the relevance of, as you said, you are, because you are already a cloud-based system, migration in the lockdown was very fast for you. Now, the relevance of cloud-based system in your sector is ensures a increase in long-term efficiency. What do you think of the, if you could just tell me any 5 or maybe more than 5 tech trends to reshape the future of retail industry in the post-pandemic? I don't know when is that coming, but yeah, I hope it comes soon.
Right.
But what are the 5 tech trends that you would like to say for the post-pandemic industry?
I think one of the things that everybody might have heard very often these days is about the artificial intelligence and machine learning. primarily the way in which we can build the system instead of building a complex set of functionalities, writing code. We will let the system learn based on the user choices, based on the trends that are there in the system, and provide the interfaces, the user interfaces, or the forecasting systems, which will allow the system to learn as it goes. And the amount of data crunching that would be required would be done by these systems, and the actionable and the MIS outputs can really be generated by all these systems. So AI and machine learning is certainly one of the key trend that's going to continue for a long time to come, because we've just we've not even scratched the surface. There's a lot more to be done across all different areas, not just the customer facing, but like I said, the operation side as well. Additionally, I think the other key area is the big data or data science. Primarily, there is so much of data that's getting generated all through in terms of customer browsing, customers discovery process itself, the actual operations, the actual marketing information, how effective these marketing campaigns are. So unless all of them are combined and you come out with a way in which you can look at the data in the right perspective, you won't be successful. And that's where the big data or the data science platforms will help. And we've made some good progress there as well, having our internal customer data platform in place. And there is still a lot more sources of data that we wanted to add to it, that will continue to happen over the next few months and years. And I think the other aspect that really has undergone a lot of changes in terms of the emergence of a lot of payment methods, and especially I think the one payment method that certainly has helped a lot of adoption across the rank and file of digital users is I think the UPI. And UPI being one, besides UPI, I think there are a lot of other new and I think innovative payment methods that are coming in, and I think those are some of the things that will continue to happen in the coming days. And I think one more area is in terms of how we market, how the customer perceives us. And that is where I think content marketing wise, creating more engaging content and creating more interactive content is the way to go forward. And we will see a lot more innovations there in terms of, if you look at the some of the products where FNP is providing a VR kind of approach where you can personalize a gift mug and put an image on top of it, and how does it look? So you kind of get a feel of the product even before you make the purchase. So there are a lot of features like this which will certainly continue to emerge in the coming times.
Yeah, I was always amazed by the way that you put your image, you can see how the product will look before you can gift it, and it gets gifted the same day. I still am in awe of how the operation works, but yeah, that's a great thing. And I'm sorry, I'm a little diverging from the topic, but on your second trend that you spoke about data, now that we're hearing about every day some ransomware attack or some malware attack, how do you, and we have nowadays also hearing on LinkedIn everywhere, everybody's talking about endpoint security and all that stuff.
Right.
How do you take care of the security, because you are into retail and you have access to a lot of data of the customers as well as the people whom they give to, so a lot of data which comes to you at the back end. How do you ensure the cyber security of that?
I think that's a very, very good point that you raised, Smruti. I think cyber security has actually the impact of cyber attacks is the number of cyber attacks that have happened in the recent times are exponential in nature. We ourselves have seen quite a few attacks on some of our properties, and we were able to successfully negotiate them. I think one of the key things is to be prepared, and basically it's all about zero trust factor in terms of you need to ensure that all the systems that you're building in, they are totally secure from an infrastructure point of view. We have to ensure that while we are doing an internal audit of how the security works or all the vulnerabilities in the system plugged, we also need to ensure that there is a third party assessment of how effective these vulnerabilities have been closed. And especially, I think a lot of new attack vectors are coming in, which are making security not as a one-time activity, but as a continuous activity. So if you look at the way we do each of our releases that we release of the website or of our backend systems, they always have to undergo a security test as well, which is all the new security vectors that are coming in. We ensure that our the security scripts are taking care of it, and they are signed off by the security experts that are on board. So and also, I think besides hacking and attackers, I think one more aspect that we believe need to be taken care of is in terms of data privacy and data breach. There's so much of data. Like when earlier I was talking about collecting so much of data and putting it on the cloud. So unless we have a solid set of policies of who accesses the data and what is the audit and all the access, is it authorized access, and has it all been logged in terms of what is getting accessed and what is getting seen. So all these aspects have to be written down as a proper security policy and have to be implemented across the board. And I think the DevOps team, which would be responsible for, in fact, there is a more specific domain that is coming in the picture called as DevSecOps, where it is the under DevOps, how is the security team operating and making things work well without interruption while keeping the security and attackers on the bay. So all this is happening, and we need to continuously keep on improving. There's no rest for that.
I agree. Moving to the last question, digitization, as we move ahead, digitization is going to shift gears.
Right.
What, according to you, will be some of the changes that the digital leaders of the retail industry should anticipate, and how well should they be prepared?
Right. I think one of the big things that is going to come is the fact that 5G is around the corner, and there is going to be an explosion of bandwidth available for end users to connect. So there is, in addition to the fact that there's going to be a lot of video consumption, there is going to be a lot of OTT consumption as well. So in that terms, I think a lot of marketing channels are going to open up, and opportunities are going to open up. So how well are the marketing teams gearing up to identify all these possibilities and come out with strategies to exploit all these new available bandwidth? I think that's something that we really need to prepare for. I think that is a good opportunity that's going to come. And I think the other thing is the fact that we continue to work from home even now. And I believe the way the industry and the workplace in general has transformed is people do feel that they are quite active in the work from home. So I think work from home is here to stay, which means that whatever systems that we have built in the last 1.5 years, they are not going to be a makeshift or a temporary arrangement. They are going to be a very long-term arrangement. In fact, we at FNP have onboarded a few people in the team who would be working from home forever. So that's probably going to be one of the key things that are going to change. We need to ensure that our organizations are taking care of the work from home as an option for, if not all, but for a variety of people.
And that's what I think the buzzword which is going around is, we'll soon be moving to hybrid work culture, and that's going to be the new normal, is what
right.
People have been debating and talking about.
Right. It's, in fact, it's already a normal. I mean, we at FNP are almost, the entire CET team, that is the technology team, they have been operating remotely for the last 1.5 years, and we will continue to do so in the coming years. It's only I think the operations team where the physical deliveries are required, the warehouse team that has to necessarily be in place because there is a physicality involved. Otherwise, quite a bit of team is remote. That's all.
And also, with that lot in the retail industry, the new word that, because you spoke about physical, the phygital word which has been moving around, how the stores are going to be more phygital, etc. So great, sir. It was great talking to you. Thank you so much for sparing your time and giving your inputs on the retail industry. It's a I always tell a lot of people that healthcare workers are not only the frontline workers. I think the retail industry workers who are actually at the stores are also, or at the warehouses, at the back end, the operations are also frontline workers, because they are ensuring that the deliveries and our products reach us. So yeah,
Absolutely,
uh,
absolutely.
this industry is also to be given a great hats off. So thank you so much for sparing your time. It was lovely talking to you. And on behalf of Dynamic CIO, I would like to thank you.
Thank you so much, Smruti.